Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Natasha, and welcome to a new episode of Love, Live, Lead. That means to embody unconditional love and live from your sacred heart. Live your best life and lead the way for others just by being you. Wow, so much new things coming up and so much renewal. It's really an interesting time, and I'm so honored and happy to share with you. And there has been a lot of new things coming in. So I've shared already that there's a lot of new energy coming in 2021. Actually, it started already earlier in the end of 2020. We are literally enjoying, and even though you might not feel that right now, there's a lot of newness. And you can look at it in different ways as well. Like 2020 brought up for us a lot of the stuff that doesn't work on a collective level and on an individual level. We've seen that systems are starting to crumble. We've seen what didn't work in the past. We've seen in ourselves ways of being. We have experienced anxiousness coming up, fear coming up, anger coming up, all sorts of things. And while 2020 was more of, for most of us, more of a time to go inwards, to check out with ourselves what needs to shift, what we want to create, what we truly want, it was an amazing opportunity to realize, hey, wow, what do I truly want from life? What's really important to me? Now, 2021 is where a decade starts of renewal. We are rebuilding our own lives. We're rebuilding the earth. It's always, like there's the universe is of holographic structure. And so what's happening in different dimensions is happening everywhere. It's like the energy that's coming in that I'm talking about, or the light, or what you might have heard from other spiritual teachers, or you yourself have realized or channeled or received. It's always seen in the physical, a bit later sometimes, but in different ways. It's just as like everything is energy and everything is created, and what we perceive as matter is actually not matter. So it's informed from the field. That's what it means. What Einstein said is that the sole governor of a particle is the field. And so to bring that down to more down to earth, sorry, I'm just, I love connecting science and spirituality, and I love seeing these parallels. And so sometimes I just love sharing that. And so the new energies that I was talking about, they are showing us the renewal. They're bringing us renewal. And what I've received very strong as guidance is it's not renewal in terms of we sit here and wait and everything is going to be new and everything is going to happen and we're just going to experience everything new and everything is going to be great. It's not that way. It's a transitioning phase. Of course, this will take a while to show in the physical, to show in our world, in our lives. Sometimes it can be instantaneous, sometimes it will take more time, but the support is here. That's what it means for me. It means that what I'm feeling is there's so much more support, and we're shifting so much faster than we did in earlier years if we know how. And things can release much faster, new things can come in much faster. We can if you're familiar, like some people call it manifesting, I love to call it creating, because for me that's not the same. We're creating much faster. And so when we step into that newness, I shared that before, I shared that in some of my posts, we cannot create a new world and a new experience of our lives and the world around us from our old personality. We cannot bring our old personality with us into a new world if we want it to work out for our lives and for the world. Because what actually creates the reality is our perception, and it's our beliefs, it's our vibration. So it's all the same. It's like your state of being is actually your vibration. And if we have a set of old beliefs or patterns or emotions which are based in fear, anxiousness, lack, separation, where we judge ourselves or others for anything, where we're holding grudge, where we believe we're not enough, not good enough, not deserving of having everything we need and more and want and more. We really cannot create a world of abundance, a world of love, a world of peace. And so I have very strongly received guidance to support the shift and shifting into a new way of being, feeling, and thinking. Yet, today I went for a walk, and it was really interesting because I went for this walk and I was like tuning in. I was like, yeah, it's clear we can't create the new from the old. Yet, so many of us are still holding some things. And what am I missing out on here? And what immediately came up is that gap between wanting to be in our expansion, wanting to be in love, opening our hearts daily, and then when something happens in our lives, which is not that which we thought we would get, like our expectation, we start judging ourselves or others for the experience we're having. So let's say I open my heart, I do my morning practice, I feel great, I'm in love, I'm in joy, I'm in happiness, I know this creates my reality, and now my kid does something and I shout at him. And then I start judging myself for having shouted at him or blaming him for what he did. And so I judge myself because I realize, like, wait a second, I wanted to create from love and now I shout at him. And that creates a downward cycle, a downward spiral. And how do we get out of that? Of course, by allowing the light to show us that which is underneath. That which is underneath. Why am I even shouting at my kid? There's no reason to ever shout at your kid. And still we all do that. We're parents, I do that. Okay? And so it happens. And now, not judging ourselves, that's the first thing. And the second thing is that in the past, we're used so much to having to release from a place of work. We're doing our inner work, and it feels so heavy. We're doing our inner growth, and we have to change these patterns or to dive into those emotions that don't feel good and to stay with them forever until we see the root of all evil and stuff like that. I'm exaggerating a bit, but just to show you, that's where we come from. That's what we've been taught. We've been taught we're here to learn. We're here to learn lessons. We're here to work through things. Like what we learn as a kid is first work and then pleasure, right? And so when we're releasing old patterns, emotions, whatever shows up, we don't need to dig anymore. We don't need to work hard to shift that anymore. This is new energy that's here, and we have shifted our consciousness as humanity, as ourselves, into a state where we can release that with joy and with ease and with lightness, and we don't need to put so much work in it. And that's also how I work. It's like I went for that walk today and I asked, like, yes, I know we need to release some more and it's going to be showing up. Even though the new energies are here, everything will show up that's not aligned with our truth. Yet, what am I missing? And immediately the answer was here, like, you don't need to work. You don't need to do anything. You're perfect as you are. And here's the trick. It's only about allowing source to do the work. And now, of course, it's like people go like, but how? And yes, there are tools. There are ways to do that. But in this work, we are not, it's even playful work, kind of. It's just being present from love. That's all that's required, and allowing source to do the job. And trusting that which wants to be seen will be seen by us. We will get that, we don't need to look for what's the root of why I'm not releasing something, why I'm creating like this or like that. It's more, hey, I'm shifting into the new. I am living in joy. I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. And when I fall out of it, I trust that that which needs to be shown up will be shown to me. And then we'll work through that which has shown, but without hard work. It's just so much ease and grace and flow when we're in that state. We're just like, hey, okay, thank you for the trigger. What else is possible here? And we tune into a higher consciousness, and that's how I work. I tune into higher consciousness and actually support you through my frequency to tune into the higher consciousness yourself. And then what comes through is source doing the healing, source doing the shift, not me, not you. You don't need to do anything. All you have to do is you be present, and you just open up by allowing, by relaxing and breathing, and that's all that's required. This is how easy healing and transmutation can be. And that was my biggest aha, because I was asking like, yeah, but it still sounds a bit heavy, that information that I was getting, that we are to shift into the new but still release whatever shows up. And then I realized like, wow, that's what wanted to come through. It's the ease, the joy, the lightness. Yes. And so that requires a bit of a shift in perspective for us. Hi, Roma. Hi, beautiful. I'll read your comment in a second. That requires a little bit of shifting perspective for us, because we're so trained that we have to work hard. We're so trained that healing is difficult. But think about one thing. How long does it take to experience a traumatic event? It can take as short as like 20 seconds or even shorter, right? And somebody come out from an experience with a trauma. So why on earth do we think that it takes longer than the 20 seconds to heal the trauma? What if that was possible? And I've experienced it being possible. What if you could shift a belief in 20 minutes? A deeply rooted belief. And I will share a story with you in a moment. I want to read Roma's comment. I will share a story with you of how one session with a client has shifted their whole life. Thanks for reminding me. We allow source to do the work. Yes, I get caught up in my husband's questions of when will you start to work? Even when I live from my source, I feel guilty for not making money. Yeah. Guilt is one of the things we're really, really, really called to release. Guilt, shame, fear are really these feelings that keep us from moving on and really expanding. We cannot expand from a feeling of guilt. It's just not possible. Guilt has a very, very low frequency. And so when you're saying, when will you start to work? I feel guilty for not making money. That's really interesting. So is it really that you think you should make money, or is it your husband who thinks that you should make money? So how can you come back to your own full truth, where you're fully connected to source and you're fully honoring yourself? And you know what? Maybe that's a reminder. I know you know that. When we are in our highest frequency, and that's also what comes in as a new way of living and being, we are already doing our work. You're not working through doing something or selling something as much as you are working through being in your highest vibration, honoring yourself, honoring what comes through for you, and allowing yourself to be in the highest frequency and vibration that you can. And then from that place, there might be an inspired action that comes through. And I've had this same feeling. I know what it feels like. And when I could shift into trusting that I am divinely guided, that I am here to serve something greater, something bigger, something far more important than my fears, my guilt, my shame, my anything. That's when my work started shifting. I'm not working to make money. I'm expressing my soul, my purpose. And I trust that the universe will provide means. And we are really invited to take these things apart. Our work that we feel as our soul calling is not what has to bring the money. It can bring the money. But when we can develop that deep inner knowing that the universe will provide for us with everything we need and more, and we can just express our soul purpose, express our joy, express our passion, express that which we feel called to do, how we're called to serve in this world, for humanity, for the planet, for our own lives, for our community, that's when things start to shift. Because as long as we are connecting what we're doing, either online or in private sessions with people, to having to make money, we're attaching that to an outcome, and we cannot truly live from source. We're like, oh my gosh, but how much will I charge? Oh, if I charge this much, it's not enough to bring me money, and can I do this and can I do that? We are here to serve for a higher purpose, to express our purpose, and to honor our worth, for sure. But when we can disconnect the money from what we do, the money is going to flow in far more. That's what I believe very, very strongly. And I've experienced that in my life. I've done things that were so irrational. Like last year, I booked a trip to Hawaii, which cost me a fortune. And I did a private retreat there, which cost me another fortune. I'm living in Europe, so I had to pay for my son and I the ticket to Hawaii, the whole 6 weeks stay, a private retreat. I mean, this was crazy, and I was not in the situation to pay that money actually, but I knew my heart was so sure that this is part of what I came here to do and what I came here to experience. And my heart was saying so strongly, hey, this is what you need to do now. I was so vibrating from joy, even thinking about it. And I just didn't do anything, but the money came in and it worked out. And it's a year later and I'm still alive. I'm still providing for my son. I'm still having income that it's just okay, you know? And things started showing up in my life, the exact things that I needed. And then somebody gave me a discount here, and here something else turned out to be easier. And suddenly it was like, oh, and here people signed up for a course, and then here was things like that just happen. Okay, I think we need to make money. I want to make money, be provided for my own means. Yes. I understand that fully, Roma. I know how that feels. I've been in the same situation, and sometimes still am. My question for you is, can you shift your perception? You see how perception creates reality? Now, my invitation for you is to shift your perception from I have to be independent to provide for my own means, which I understand you want it, and I fully want you to do that. But if you can shift that perspective to I'm always provided and I always have everything I need, and allow that which you're receiving from others, if you're not providing for yourself right now, that which you receive from others, allow that to be the gift of the universe. Allow yourself to see that as, whoa, the universe is providing for me so I can share my gifts. You know, in fifth dimensional consciousness, we don't work anymore like I give you an egg and you pay me $1. It doesn't work like that anymore. This is separation. In unity consciousness, we are provided. There's abundance for everybody and everything. And it takes immense trust. But the start for me was shifting into, I was depending on my mother. And my mother still helps me out sometimes for some things. It's like, if we can shift that consciousness to, whoa, I'm supported. Wow, the universe just gifted me with money. through a heritage, through my husband, through my mother, through my brother. It doesn't matter, whatever it is for you. And appreciate that gift. That's the important part. Appreciate that gift. Appreciate that gift. In fifth dimensional consciousness, that is making money, because through your vibration, you are allowing the universe to support you. And have patience. You will provide for yourself when you let go of that attachment. I'm 100% sure about that. Sorry. Need a sip of water. You are going to provide for yourself. And just shift that perspective and be grateful for every single penny you find on the street you receive from somebody. And that gratitude is going to ripple out, because that's how consciousness creates reality. You see, we're in a constant feedback loop with the universe. And if you want to know more about that, check out a little bit about unified field theory and stuff like that. It's sometimes hard to find information that is understandable. It's not too scientific, but we're in a constant feedback loop with the universe. Our consciousness feeds the universe and is feeding back. And so we create through that consciousness. So if we can be grateful for what we're receiving and say like, thank you, universe, yes, more of that, you will receive more. And from that consciousness and that vibration, you will go into your work from a completely different frequency. And you'll be happy to share and not thinking, oh, I need to share. What do I need to share so I can make money? Oh no, will that bring me money? Just let go of all of that. And it will come, and you'll suddenly get hits and insights. I'm getting like, whoa, offer a free course. I go there, I offer a free course. Or, oh, do this and that. And I go and do that. And so that's how we work. That's how we work in fifth dimensional consciousness. And you will make money. Don't worry, just let go of wanting to. Yeah, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Renee, sounds fantastic, resonates with me. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. And so, shifting perspective, I promised you a example. I've had this client who was a young man, around 20, I think 4 or 5, and he's never had a girlfriend in his life, and he suffered a lot from that. And when we worked together, what happened is that we were talking a little bit, and we was talking about it, and I suddenly, I heard about his family, and suddenly asked him, how much do you believe that you are a good person? Now, the background of this young man, how he was programmed, is that he was the son of a priest. And I suddenly thought like, wow, church usually would say that we are not good because we need Jesus to come and save us. We need a savior who will release us from all our sins. And I just had this drop in, and I was like, I asked him, how much do you believe you're a good person, from the scale from 0 to 10, that you're a good person and that you are, I think I only asked that, and he said like 2 or something like that. And okay, and we worked one single session on shifting that belief, and 2 months later he had a girlfriend, and they were together for several years. And so that's how powerful our perception is of ourselves and the world. And I have more examples, and it's crazy. So we literally do create a reality through our perception, through our beliefs, through our thoughts, through our feelings. And so, to come back to and if you have questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section. And to come back to renewal and how we step into that new. Yes, there will be things for us to release still. We're in a transition phase, but we're moving into that unity consciousness. And I've been strongly guided to offer a course it's called Birthing the New You. So where we can really step into these new energies and create that new rebirth from ourselves, and release that which no longer serves. And we do that from that lightness that I told you about, from just being and allowing Source to do the job. And what I've put together is 5 online calls where we will start with self-worth. On the first call, it's going to be about self-worth, and I'm so excited about that because that's what trips us up very much usually, and releasing self-sabotage. So wherever you're feeling like I'm not good enough, I'm not deserving to have it all, I'm not doing a good enough job, I am not worthy of having it all, or where you're sabotaging your own expression of who you want to be, that's going to be released with ease and grace, and we're going to be activated into more self-worth. The second call is about love of mind. So that's where we're going to continue shifting beliefs. All the beliefs that you know that's tripping you up, that are holding you back, we're going to shift those and start shifting them. And I'll show you how we can easily shift beliefs and create new ones. Because it's one thing to release old beliefs, and it's another thing to create new beliefs. And when you do both, you're just skyrocketing yourself. I remember when I released the belief that I don't even know what the belief was, but the new belief that I created was I have everything I need and more, and I'm always provided. Always provided. I'm supported. I'm always supported. And there was this funny situation where I was in Croatia in our holiday house where we spend around 4 months, my son and I, and sometimes even longer, I hope, in the future. And if we don't move to another place at the ocean. And so we came there in spring, and it was a holiday, a public holiday. And our toilet started getting stuck. And it wouldn't flush anymore. And it would just start fill up. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's Easter. I mean, we need, obviously, a restroom. And I called one worker after the other, plumber, whatever it's called in English. And everybody I knew, or I got the phone from somebody, and everybody was like, oh, it's holiday, I can't possibly come over. And I started going into that old pattern of, oh my God, what will I do? You know, like really being caught into 3D. And so next thing happens, I remember, I put my hands on my heart and I go like, I have everything I need and more. I'm always provided for. I'm always supported. The universe just supports me. And next thing that drops into my awareness is call that and that guy. I go, I call that guy, and the guy says, I'm at your place in 20 minutes. He came, he fixed it, and we were fine. So it's really, really important to know how to shift beliefs. The third one is moving into love from our emotions, because what often happens is that we fall back into old emotional patterns, anger, anxiety, stress, fear, whatever it is, name it, guilt, shame, as we've seen. So just releasing those, another layer, and really moving into higher vibrational emotions and being able to hold these emotions. That's going to be the next activation and transmission. And then we're going into body love. And the last one is really a self-love whole package activation. And I'll work through light language, I work through transmissions, and through very powerful and easy healing transmissions, actually, which are something that I've developed from very powerful tools that I have learned on the way, and combining them with the light language and the high frequency transmission, and bringing in the codes that I've learned. So this is really very high value. Also, we get 4 Facebook calls where you can ask questions and get support, just like now it's in a private group. You get community support, you get tools on the way to integrate with more ease and grace. So that's one program that I'm offering. And if that resonates with you, if that's a yes for you, if you feel drawn to that, it is an introductory price, because it's the first time I'm doing exactly that program, how I put it together. And I'm offering a very exceptional introductory price. I was guided to do that. No idea why. It's worth far more. It's going to be, if you sign up till the 12th of January, it's only $97 for a full month of work, and one single session with me is 222. So you're really getting high value here. And after January 12th, it's going to be 147, and we're starting on January 21st. So if you feel drawn, if that's a yes for you, I will put the link underneath and you can check out what it is, how it works. I have a whole page that explains everything, and if it's a yes, you can sign up. I'd be very, very thrilled to see you there. And another thing that's new that I want to share with you is that the January heart activation, I'm doing heart activation every month. And the January heart activation is going to be a little bit different. I've been called to move more into just sharing very short and then allowing the transmission, where we include your intentions, and it's going to be a really beautiful transmission, because what we're doing is people are asking, how can I help? How can I help the world? And if we remember that we create reality through our perception, we can help through our consciousness in huge ways. And so January heart activation is going to be creating the field of love. Actually, the field of love is, of course, already created. Everything is already created. We just have to tap into it. But we're going to consciously tap into the field of love to activate our own hearts, to release even more, to open even more, to activate our hearts to more love, more unconditional love, more unity consciousness. And then we're going to allow that love to ripple out into the world and to create really that field of support, of love, of joy. If you've heard of the Maharishi effect, you know how powerful that is. Like the Maharishi effect is when they found out, and they made research about, they had monks meditating on peace in cities, you say cities? Yeah, I think so. In big cities around the world, like Chicago, and there was crime rate that went down when the monks were meditating. The crime rate, they could measure the crime rate going down. That's how powerful meditation, intention, imagination, vibration is. That's our consciousness. And so I'm really, really called to contribute to the world in that way. And through the heart activation, we will let that field ripple out into the world and do our part with it. If you feel called to do that, I'll put the link below as well. It's only $22. This is my community service that I'm doing every month. And so you're more than invited to join and come along and help love shift our lives and the lives of humanity. It's support, it's what we can do. And the more people join, the more people come online, the more people do that, there's a huge power in coming together as a group. Huge power of amplifying the consciousness and amplifying what it does. There's also a lot of research about that, and it's beautiful what happens when a group comes together. And so I really hope to see you there. Now I've been talking a lot, and I'm so grateful for you watching. I'm wishing you a beautiful, beautiful time. Check out the links below the video if you liked it, and I will see you back next Tuesday. It's going to be again 8 a.m. Tuesday, 8 a.m. PT, 11 ET, and 5 p.m. Swiss time. Unless you hear from something else. I work from source, I work from flow, and sometimes it's not in flow, then I have to shift it, but that's the usual times that you will find me online. So thank you very much. I love you, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, beautiful, Roma. I just saw your comment. Yeah, I'll send you a link. Beautiful. Much love. Bye-bye.